Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Kringle Candle Country Love. Now, this is a fragrance that I purchased back in early February when they were running, I think it was like a buy one, get one 50% off sale. And that was kind of a fun sale because at that time, Kringle was starting to release a lot of fragrances that had previously been offered in the country candle lineup, and they made the proverbial crossover to the Kringle vessels. Now, Country Candle has gone the way of the dodo. It is no longer around. There might be still some products on the Kringle website, but Country Candle, those apothecary style jars with the colored wax, they are not in production anymore. And so the downside with that for a lot of people was that there were fragrances offered by Country Candle that people really, really loved. And a few of those now are showing up in these large 2-wicks, one of them being Country Love. So I had heard a lot of people mention that they really enjoy this fragrance in the springtime. And I thought, you know what? I'm not familiar with that one. Maybe I should go ahead and throw it into my cart. And that is what I did. So this is a 2-wick large 100% soy wax vessel. It does retail for $31 on the Kringle website. Kringle does use non-tox ingredients, and they are made here in the good old USA. In fact, yours truly actually took a trip to their factory last August. I witnessed it with my own hand, or with my own eyes. I mean, I got my hands on some of the things there as well, but anyways, it was a pretty cool experience. So yeah, definitely enjoy being affiliated with this company. Like I said, though, I did purchase this candle. It was not sent to me in PR. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Top notes are floral and green, mid notes of herbs and rose, base note of musk. I did attempt to look at the pour date on this candle. However, it has been rubbed off on the bottom from the various places that I've been burning this candle. My best guess, you guys, is because this showed up, I want to say late January on their website. This is more than likely a late 2025, early 2026 pour date. So, what does my nose detect with this candle? If you are worried that this is going to be a super heady, headache-inducing floral, you do not have to worry about that, you guys. This is a very nice, kind of what I would call a green floral type of fragrance. It's I truthfully don't even really detect rose. I know that they list rose as a mid note here. I don't smell that. To me, this fragrance leans a little bit more green than it does like a deep floral. When I think of like truly like strong floral fragrances, I think of like a lilac or a rose, a lily, a gardenia. This to me, I think the floral note that I'm picking up, and it may just be because this is the imagery that I'm seeing on the label, but I do believe that this is most likely hydrangea. That is the floral note that I'm picking up in here, but it's mixed really nicely with like a green, kind of almost grassy type of fragrance. Now, the grassy note in here is not like what you get in, say, like a fresh cut grass type of note. It's not. Last year in summer 2025, they had what I called was like the Country Club Reserve collection, and they had a fragrance called Tea Time, like TEE. That to me was definitely like freshly mowed grass type of note. That's not what I get here. The grass note in here smells more like a wild grass that's growing like on the side of a country road. It's not really like the grass that my husband mows in my backyard type of note. It's very pretty. It's very well balanced. I think that if you are somebody who likes more green with a touch of floral, then this is going to be right up your alley. I think that this is a very pretty fragrance. I really enjoyed pairing this with another fragrance from Gift Gala. They had a spring candle launch called Greenhouse Reverie, and I really, really enjoyed that one paired with this candle. You guys know I love my candle combos, and I felt like they complemented each other very, very nicely. But this is not a straight up grass candle. The musk note in the base, I think, is probably just a little bit of a perfumey element. But again, this one doesn't cross over and lean too musky, too perfumey. This is just a really well done candle. It was my favorite, and not my favorite, it was my husband's favorite candle when we did our cold sniff haul video on when I purchased these. Like I said, it's now been well over 2 months ago. But this one was his favorite. And it's been a really nice fragrance to burn throughout the springtime. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance on it, because I have been on a little bit of a journey here. So you can see I'm kind of down to like what's probably going to be my final two burns here on this candle. Nice wax pool right now. I am going to say that the first burn on this candle was pretty strong, but then the second and third burns I found not to be as strong. And when I went to look at it a little bit more intensely, I found that I was having some wick issues right after the first burn. And so typically for me, what it was I felt like the candle was staying lit. The wicks weren't so puny that they weren't staying lit and struggling to pull out. That wasn't the issue, but the wicks were definitely not burning very hot. They were a much lower flame. And so for me, when I see that, my strategy is usually to dump a little bit of the wax. I have heard that certain fragrance oils can affect the wick performance. Sometimes they clog the wicks, and I'm not sure if that's what was going on. But I did dump a little bit of wax. I did have to do that on 2 burns before the candle did self-correct. And since then, I haven't had any issues with the wicks. But I did want to let you guys know that that was my initial experience with the wicks on this one. Strength and throw on this one, I'm going to give the strength of this candle probably about a 6.5, 6.5. This is not an overly strong fragrance. However, if you've been listening to me since I have returned from my little break, one of the things that has been a big kind of like, I don't even want to say like revelation, that makes it sound so dramatic, but I think one of the things that I've really come to understand with fragrance, because I've found this to be very true with personal fragrance, but I feel like this also applies to home fragrance, is that not all fragrances are designed to be super smack you in the face types of fragrances. And this is one of them that I don't believe is designed to be an overly strong fragrance. I think the beauty of this scent is in the fact that it is not overly strong. Now, obviously, we buy candles, we even buy perfumes, we buy things that are fragrance related because we want to smell the fragrance, right? And so I will say with this one, I do smell the fragrance. The throw on this is actually quite good. Throw on this I'm going to give is probably a little bit better than the strength. The throw on this one is about a 7, 7.5, when the wicks have been performing well for me. I do want to put that in there. When the wicks were really low and puny, I was not getting great throw from it. But once the wicks corrected, I have gotten pretty good throw on this one. I'm going to settle at about a 7 on this. Again, this is going to be a fragrance that even if somebody might be a little bit more averse to fragrance, you have people who are a little bit more sensitive, particularly this time of year. I know allergies are going crazy for a lot of people, but this is one, you guys, that if you enjoy those like green types of fragrances, but you're nervous that they might impose, like, that they might give people a headache, or that people who are sensitive to those might be offended by a fragrance that is very green, you're not going to have that issue with this one. That's my opinion. I don't think you will. I think that this is still going to be a very nice scent to be able to burn if you're going to have company over, or if you have other people in your household that may be sensitive to green floral scents. This one is not going to be very offensive. It's pleasant. It's nice. It's noticeable. I can definitely smell it, but again, it's not smacking me in the face, which is something that I have come to appreciate. So I feel like, even though I think some people might want this to be a little bit stronger, if you're somebody who wants to smack you in the face, really deep, heady type of floral, this is not going to be the one for you. But if you're somebody who appreciates, um, the complexity of a fragrance being beautiful, even if it's not super duper strong in your face, then I think that this is one that you may enjoy. So, overall thoughts on this, you guys. Will I repurchase this? Probably not. I enjoy it, but it's not a floral, like, it's nowhere near like my lilac. We all know lilac is like my number one type of fragrance that I like to burn in the springtime. But I am glad that I tried it. You can see that I burned it, that I'll burn it all the way down. I mean, this is one I didn't feel the need to declutter it. I did find it enjoyable. But I feel like there's probably going to always be other spring fragrances that I will be curious about and want to burn again. But I'm glad that I tried it. Again, it's one that I'll finish burning, but I don't see myself repurchasing this one. Not a love, not a hate. It's a like, and for that, I feel like for me personally, I've only got room to repurchase fragrances that I love. So let me know in the comment section down below if this is one that you love. Do you love Country Love? I would be curious to hear your thoughts. Also, if you previously had this in the country candle format and then now having it in the Kringle format, maybe if you have any comparisons to how the burn is, strength and throw, feel free to add that in down there. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle, by the way, you guys. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% on full price merchandise. I am pre-filming some of these reviews as I'm getting through these candles. So I am unsure if there is a sale going on. I am estimating or just thinking that by the time I put this review up, I would think that they would be getting ready to launch like a Mother's Day sale, which last year that was a buy one, get one free on a lot of their spring and summer fragrances. So I'm not sure yet, what the sales are currently looking like at the time that this video goes up. But always be aware, you guys, Kringle does run sales quite frequently. So make sure that you're like signed up to receive like their emails and offers and all that kind of stuff. Or follow a lot of us ambassadors over on social media. I think a lot of us do a pretty good job of letting you guys know when things are on sale. But yeah, you guys, if you want to save money on your route shipping or you want to throw in any other full priced items into an order, that affiliate discount code will save you a little bit of extra money. As always, that's eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. But I feel like I got it all in there. Again, please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.